topic area 7 is chemical wave. We'll start with the SCC manual for chemical wave. You are going to need a regular comb, a rat tail comb, 3 perm rods, 5 clips, end papers, cotton, a applicator bottle, a chemical cape, and 2 towels, and your protective cream or your barrier cream if you don't already have it out. Mine is already out. For the preparation, you will sanitize your hands, remove the items from the bag, place the bag in single use, chemically drape the mannequin, perform a hair and scalp analysis, and section the mannequin into 5 sections. And I believe tells you on your instructions here, it says this evaluation is chemical wave. 10 minutes will be provided to set up your workstation for a chemical wave and prepare your client for a chemical service. Divide the head into 4 quadrants or sections. The proctor will announce when there are 5 minutes left to finish. When you complete your tasks, please stand quietly. You may start. Timing begins now. So I know in our manual it says 5 sections, and then in the PSI directions it says 4 sections, and so, or 4 quadrants. This is one of the questions that was in that frequently asked questions PDF that they sent us, and it does say that you can section more, that you're not docked for that. So if you want to section in 5 sections, you can. If you want to section in 4 sections, you can. So that is the answer for that. But you do have 10 minutes provided to set that up. So maybe start with 4 sections, and if you have time to put it into 5, you can put it into 5. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes, and I'm going to start by sanitizing my hands and getting into my supply kit. I'm going to get out my chemical wave bag, and I'm going to close my supply kit. Now I'm going to start getting my things out. I do have 2 towels here because for the chemical drape, we are going to drape towel, cape towel. I have way more than 3 perm rods. I have 7. I have my cotton and my stick to apply barrier cream with. I use this as like a gentle reminder that I'm supposed to have barrier cream. And then I have my perm papers, not in a dispenser. And then I have my waving lotion in an applicator bottle. I'm going to put my bag into single use. And now I am going to drape my client. And I do need to get my combs out. So I'm going to sanitize my hands again before I get into here to get out my combs. So here is my tail comb. And here is my all-purpose comb. And I will fill this bag back up and set that out of the way. I'm going to clip this hair up out of the way while I remove my drape and my next strip. Next strip is going to go into single use, and then I am going to use a towel around the neck first, making sure that the cape is not touching the skin, and my cape is a all-purpose cape. And then I am going to take my second towel and apply that right over the top of the other one. And you can either tie this one or you can secure it with a clip, so whichever way you want to do that. Now I am going to do my hair and scalp analysis. Again, checking that out, and then I'm going to re-section my client. So I'm going to put the back back into 2. I did only set my timer for 5 minutes. I didn't set it for 10. So it may go off before I complete this section. I am going to use one of my perm rods to make sure that this section on top is not wider than the tool that I'm wrapping. Put it down. And I'm 1 click shy, so I'm going to sanitize my hands, get into my bag, grab another clip, close my bag back up, and then I can I'm going to sanitize my hands and step back to indicate that I am ready. The next instructions are 10 minutes will be provided to wrap 3 permanent wave rods in 1 quadrant or sections you created on the head. The proctor will announce when there are 5 minutes left to finish. When you complete wrapping your rods, please stand quietly. The evaluator will direct you individually to demonstrate saturation and a test curl. You may start. Timing begins now. So I'm going to set 10 minutes on the timer and press start, and then I am going to sanitize my hands, and I'm going to go ahead and get my end papers out. And to make sure that I'm not fiddling with my end papers, I am going to go ahead and lay them out for myself. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and an extra. I will use my tail comb. I'm going to wet down the section where I'm working. So one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to wrap your perm rods in the back of this front section. I would not wrap them in the front because you guys know just as well as I do that if you wrap them in the front and you roll them back, they're going to fall forward unless you twist your bands, and you don't want to have your bands twisted because you want to show that you are doing this properly. So there's perm rod number 1. And then here is perm rod number 2. Bands right across the rods, and then my last one, perm rod number 3. During this section of the exam, you should have everything prepared for the proctor to come over and watch you demonstrate your saturation and your test curl. So at this point, you will go ahead and sanitize your hands, get your applicator stick and your cotton out of your bag. Use your applicator stick to get barrier cream out and apply it to the back of your hand. Applicator stick goes into the trash, and then you will use your hand to apply barrier cream all the way around the perimeter, just like you would during a regular perm. So even though you only wrapped 3 rods, this is a simulation. You would still only apply the barrier cream to where you would apply the barrier cream if you were actually doing the service. So you would not, with a perm, apply the barrier cream onto the scalp in between the rods. I'm going to use a paper towel to remove the barrier cream that's left off the back of my hand, put that into single use, and then I'm going to sanitize my hands. And then my cotton, I'm going to apply only around those 3 rods. The reason why we're not applying it around the hairline is it doesn't have anything to attach to, since there's no perm rods there for it to be underneath. So now at this point, I am going to sanitize. Again, sanitizing before I put my gloves on. I know he said that we didn't have to do it, but I just can't help myself, okay? I just feel like I have to do it that way. I've got my gloves on, and then I would be standing here waiting for the proctor to come over for me to demonstrate my saturation. When they come over, they are going to say, "Please saturate, begin now." When you do this, you could have an applicator bottle like what I have. Here, let me bring it closer, that way you guys can see. Like this, and it just says waving lotion. I like this because the thing just slips on and off, and it's really easy. They don't leak or anything like that. So there is a proper way to apply perm solution, and there's a improper way to apply perm solution. When we go to apply this, we are not going to touch the tip of this applicator to the hair. We are going to apply it 1 line to the top, and we are going to apply 1 line to the bottom. But when I do that, I am giving it a squeeze. I am squeezing that, and I am allowing that water to fully saturate that strand. Now, your proctor may say, "Please stop and stand back quietly." I'll put my lid back on, set this down, and step back, and then they'll take their notes, and then they'll say, "Please perform a test curl, begin now." I'm going to uncap my perm rod. I'm going to unwind it 2 full turns, 1, 2, and then I'm going to push that hair, bounce, bounce, and then I'm going to wrap that perm rod back down and put the cap back on it, take my gloves off, and sanitize my hands. And that would complete your demonstration of your saturation. The last set of instructions that you will be gave are, we will now complete the chemical wave topic area. 5 minutes will be provided to remove and dispose of all rods, clean off your chemical wave workstation. The proctor will announce when there are 2 minutes left to finish. When you complete your tasks, please stand quietly. You may start. Timing begins now. So again, 5 minutes on my timer started. I'm going to sanitize my hands because I'm going to touch my client. Cotton is going to go into single use. Perm rods are going to come out. End paper into single use. Perm rod into multi-use. Perm paper into single use, perm rod into multi-use. Last one. Perm paper into single use, perm rod into multi-use, and then I can clean up the rest of my materials. So my baggies and my end papers, I'm going to put my end papers back into the baggie because those can go into multi-use. This baggie that's empty is going to go into my single use. My waving lotion and the rest of my perm rods, are going to go into my multi-use, and then I'm going to leave my combs out. I am going to sanitize my hands and resection my client into 4 sections because I still have plenty of time. So one of these clips I'm going to go ahead and put into multi-use because I don't need it anymore, and then I will put the mannequin into 4 sections again because we have 4 sections left to complete. Sanitize your hands, indicate that you are complete, and that completes the chemical wave portion.